Well, Aldrin, one thing I have to say for sure is that this council was convened for the purposes of electing that mayor or that replacement for Thapelo Amad following that resignation that we saw happening last week. We do understand that council did resume in this morning or convene this morning and is now on a caucus break. But we're also hearing reports that voting might not happen today or might not be able to take place today. This will mean that the city of Johannesburg will be without a mayor for yet another day. We'll just have to wait that much longer. Now, you'll remember in an interview that I did just last week in Mogale City with the MEC for Kokta Mzi Khumalo, he did urge the city of Johannesburg to elect a mayor as soon as possible. And now he's been crisscrossing all these municipalities, ensuring that council proceeds accordingly and really that all the rules of council are observed and that everything within council happens smoothly and the transition of power within these municipalities happens smoothly. I'm joined by the Speaker of Council, Colleen Makubela, whose name might be brought up during the election process when the time comes for council to elect that new mayor. She might be nominated. This is according to unconfirmed reports, but we will get more information from her. But first of all, thank you so much for speaking to us. I mean, right now we're speaking to you in your capacity as the Speaker of Council and hearing that, there are allegations that, voting might not happen today. And we understand that the election of a mayor happens by way of a secret ballot. Are you able to confirm these?
Thank you, Mbali, and good morning to the viewers. I'm not sure where these allegations are coming from. We are on a caucus break. I'm actually on my way to open council. I'm expecting that we're going to move on with the business of the day. The council agenda is quite clear. We're here to elect the mayor, and we know that we are living here as councillors with a new mayor in office. Anything else is just rumors, and perhaps there are other political parties somewhere that wish we don't vote in a mayor. But as far as I know, and as far as we've prepared, we are ready to go back now and start the nomination process for the new executive mayor of the city of Joburg.
Okay. Speaking of rumors, we're also hearing rumors that you might be your name might come up during the nomination process. Do you think you would then accept this nomination, given that you already have a position as the Speaker of Council?
Mbali, the fact of the matter is that all the minority councillors are candidates for this mayoral position right now. Any one of us can be selected by the Government of Local Unity leadership to stand in that position. And as soon as we are finalized where we are as a coalition, that announcement will be made. So at this stage, we are waiting, of course, the processes to start. Remember, when IEC is invited, they come and take over the voting process. There will be a section that is called nomination process. In that particular time, that's when political parties are given the opportunity to go back and nominate who they feel, should be the executive mayor. It could be a coalition, it could be political parties that nominate. It wouldn't matter to us. But we are very excited about this process, and we're expecting that today is going to be a very rigorous and fierce contest, which is supposed to be for a big city like this, which is the city of Johannesburg. So what is happening now, it's not uncommon, it's not unexpected. It is supposed to be like this because this is the economic hub of Africa, and we want the best of the minds to lead us.
Certainly. Now, after that meeting that we saw, where we saw the announcement of Thapelo Amad's resignation, it seemed as though, the coalition partners were going to go into a meeting to then decide and discuss. Were you able to find each other, and did you come out strong after that meeting? And, there are also concerns that, there is still that toing and froing between coalition partners as to who will then be the candidate of choice, and unhappiness that, the coalition has waited until the 11th hour to decide, and hence the delays that we're seeing right now.
I think what we would like our residents to appreciate is that in our coalition, especially the Government of Local Unity, you've got over 10 parties that are participants in that coalition. each and every party must run its own internal processes. And it's very, very difficult to really put a time frame on any party to say, be here at this time, etc. So the different processes from different parties have taken longer than imagined, and we are still intact, and hence today we are still meeting to say, what is this party saying, what is that party saying, and collectively we're going to come up with a name as Government of Local Unity. You may have seen, we've seen it in the media, the DA has already pronounced, it's one party, it's easy for them to sit around the same table and pronounce we want Dr. Palatse. Action SA, also one party, it's easy for them to sit and pronounce we want Councillor Funzi. And we appreciate those processes, but we also want to appreciate and respect each and every party in our coalition and give them the opportunity to be able to satisfy themselves with whatever names or candidates that are put on the table. So what you see happening here is part of our democratic process internally, and really giving respect and honor to each and every voice within the coalition to say, yes, we're happy with this or not. Of course, you're not going to satisfy each and every person, but the majority of the voices are going to speak, and the leadership will give guidance to that effect.
Certainly, we also understand that, you were also facing a motion of no confidence, and just the other week we heard your coalition partners within your coalition saying that they will defend you and protect yourself as well as the chief whip in council. Will that no confidence motion go ahead? Is it going ahead today? Are you at all worried?
It is not going ahead today. It will definitely go ahead because it's a motion that has passed programming. The purpose of today's meeting is solely to elect the executive mayor. After we have the executive mayor and also appointed the MMCs, we'll then call a special council to look at all the other items that we should have dealt with in the council of the 25th, including the motions that have been brought forth by the various parties. We are not worried about those motions. Mbali, we always say there are other political leaders that really have nothing else to do all day but to sit and say, how do we disrupt this? How do we become relevant in the media? Frivolous motions are being brought forth. We see political parties unbecomingly submitting motions, leaders of national leaders of parties coming to a local council to submit motions unheard of. But it just clearly shows that the purpose of the motion is really to gain media attention and with the hope of embarrassing, but it holds no water, because you can only bring a motion when you have numbers, when you know it's going to serve something. But for you to cost taxpayers money by continuous motions, we must sit and debate a motion that it's not going to pass. I think really it speaks volumes about the myopic reasoning and the narrow-mindedness of some of these political leaders that we see mushrooming today.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I know you have to rush back inside council for council to continue. You are free to go there. But Aldrin, as you've heard, the Speaker of Council has rubbished the rumors that voting might not happen today, just explaining that the IEC will be inside council to oversee the voting process for a mayoral candidate. Now, as we're going into this council meeting, we do understand that there might be 4 names that might emerge today. We see the DA and the Action SA fielding their own candidates, and now these 2 parties were part of the multi-party coalition that governed in the city of Johannesburg before Dr. Mpho Palatse was removed through a motion of no confidence. Dr. Mpho Palatse has been on the record saying that she will accept the nomination, and we also understand that Action SA will also be fielding their own candidate, and that is the provincial chairperson Funzi Ngobeni. Also, the party, or rather the coalition that is in power, was in power before that resignation, has also going to bring forward its nomination, and it seems as though there might be 2 names that might emerge. And right now we know that they have just come out of a very crucial meeting where they're still deliberating as to who will then ascend to that position. And as you heard Colleen Makubela saying that any one of the minority parties could really emerge as the mayor and as a replacement for Thapelo Amad in the city of Johannesburg. Now, we are going to be here to try and bring you the latest as and when it happens. We are aware that Dr. MEC Zikhumalo is here. We understand that the Premier is also here. Not sure if he's here in his capacity as the Premier or in his capacity as the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng. We do understand that the DA's provincial chair, Solim Simanga, is also here. So these are all the people, and among other really key role players within the political space, are all here to oversee today and what happens and what unfolds then today. We also spoke about briefly that no confidence motion. You will remember that the mayor resigned just hours before that motion of no confidence in him, and even though the party had rallied its support behind him on the day before he tenders his resignation, but the two other motions still remain, and that is the one that is against the Speaker of Council and the other one that is against the Chief Whip. But we are obviously going to be here to bring you all the latest as and when it happens. For now, though, Aldrin, it is back to you in studio.